Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and we're back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a meta update of what's going on in the current meta. Well, yeah, I guess that's what a meta update is. Nonetheless, I've been watching a lot of Dota. I've also been playing an insane amount of Dota. I'm on a pro team now, and so I'm really grinding my ass off, and so I know what's going on. I have a pretty clear idea of what's popular, the items, the heroes, even the map play. But in today's video, we're mainly just going to be covering items and heroes, and so let's get into it. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. All right, so I have around like 12-ish points that I want to cover. Let's start off with Veno jungle. I'm being dead serious about this now, guys. I even just played scrims. I'm not going to name the teams, of course, because that would be pretty messed up. But a team picked Veno jungle against us, and then another team picked Veno. It ended up being just a normal pos 5 Veno, but the point is that people are seriously looking into it now, and it's a real thing. Like, I know people don't like it, it griefs their pubs, I get it, it is kind of weird, you know, people do tilt because of it, I understand, but it's a very real thing, and as Dota progresses, strategies that are hard to counter like this or hard to deal with because they're so weird are going to become popular. Getting to the second one, this is a big point of the patch, and that is the rise of melee fours. We saw this really to be frank, the end of Fisher Playground. I mean, only the last few days, a clear prominence in melee fours. It started, I would say, it mainly started seemingly with the Bounty Hunter of Falcons. I might be missing something, but the Bounty Hunter of Falcons for crit, and then Soxa was playing a lot of Riki, and a lot of teams, 9 class Soxa, and way more than that, are playing Nyx Assassin, Nyx being the main one for a long time, but now Bounty Hunter seems to be on top. It is the highest winner hero in Dota 2 Pro Tracker. It seems, frankly, pretty broken. This hero just does a bit too much. It has a pretty solid laning stage due to base stats. Its ulti is damage amp, which scales with the levels. Of course, gold is good. It really is the biggest part of all of these melee heroes for me. Nyx, Bounty, and Riki being the main 3. I would say the fourth, number 4, is Clockwork. For pubs, I would even say Clockwork is better than Riki, so maybe Riki's number 4 in that regard. But the vision game, especially on Bounty and Riki, the ability to place deep wards is broken in high MMR. In average pubs, I still would say certain heroes, especially Bounty Hunter, are really broken, and yeah, they're going to continue to rise. You're going to see them in your pubs because of the recent pro scene. Okay, next up we have Phoenix. Phoenix pos 5, very good. It seems to be probably the most popular farming pos 5 / damage pos 5 in the meta right now. I'd say number 2 is probably Zeus. From what I've seen. So Phoenix and Zeus for the damage subs. If you're looking for heroes from the pos 5 role to carry your games and deal the max damage, these are probably the 2 heroes to learn, with the main one being Phoenix. It's just much harder than Zeus, but I do think it actually is better than Zeus, just harder. Coming in at number 4, Alk remains on top. I mean, this hero has proven itself. It has been let through by certain teams, but at the end of the day, it still shows that when you leave this hero alone, the SNY Radiance timing being 2 of the better items in Dota SNY, actually something we're going to cover in today's video, is just too much for some games, and so I still think Alk remains on top. However, next point, on the note of carries, we have PA, Lifestealer, and Bloodseeker. I would say these are the most impressive carries of the patch. The only other, I'm going to cover one of the other ones in a moment, but the only other I didn't put here but could be here is Dragonite. We already covered Alchemist. Dragonite still seems to be one of the top farming carries. He's less popular than he was at the beginning of the patch, but still very dominant. However, PA proven to be really broken, especially with combos like PA Warlock getting a lot of kills for the Black Grimoire on the laning stage, right? These heroes have incredible amount of synergy. PA lacks sustain in the lane. Warlock gives that to her. And on top of that, Warlock wants heroes that get in there and get kills for him because of the Black Grimoire effect, right? His facet giving him XP for kills and assists. It's really broken with PA, so this combo, super nasty. Lifestealer, seems like the Radiance SNY carries are on top. Outside of PA, PA is the exception for sure. I guess Dragonite as well, but mostly PA being a Battle Fury carry. I mean, there are really none of those that come to mind outside of PA at the top level. But yeah, Lifestealer, Radiance SNY, too good. Bloodseeker, funny enough, frequently Radiance SNY, also a bit too good. More so Radiance BKB, but it depends. Next up, we have IO Marcy. I'm a huge believer in IO combos in general, but I think the best by far is IO Marcy. A lot of teams are starting to pick it. BetBoom picked it, Gaming Gladiators pick it, and as time progresses, I expect more and more teams to pick this combo. It's proven itself. I mean, if you go on Pro Tracker, I don't know if this is the case now, but the last time I looked at Pro Tracker, it was the highest win rate combo in the game. In the game. You can't just say, oh, it's a cheese combo. It is, like, you can't cheese your way to just, it was like something crazy, like a 67% win rate. To be fair, usually people pick this combo when they know each other, but even then, like, it's still insane. I really think it's just broken. Then we have Bristleback Snot Facet, the goo facet, proving itself to be very good. And I called this out a while ago. I even maybe think I made a video on it, but yeah, Bristleback playing as a utility frontliner with auras and the shard and S&Y is the way to go. I really think that Ags on this hero is extremely overrated. Not bad, just overrated. And I think Bristle Snot Facet with Pipe into shard, the shard is really broken, into S&Y amping the regen of the Pipe, right? Pipe gives a lot of HP regen, and giving HP to synergize with the magic resistance from the item is really broken. When people hit you in the back, you're applying sometimes 18, 20 minus armor in an AoE. With certain combos like Pangolier, this is a combo that I love right now. Pango mid with Bristleback off lane, the minus armor synergy with these heroes is broken. Even also just like the fight synergy. Pango doesn't want to go first, he wants to go second. So a lot of synergy, a lot of things to work around. There. S&Y, I've covered this item a couple times now, so I'm not going to say too much, but in terms of items in the game, I think this maybe is the best in my opinion as like a mid-game item. I think it just does too much. Slow resist is a pretty solid stat, underrated. Status resist, no-brainer, one of the best stats in the game, for sure. Then on top of that, it's just HP, movement speed. I mean, like, literally has some of the best stats. HP, movement speed, status resist, slow resist, like, it just kind of gives you a little bit of everything and rounds out items super, super well. It rounds out Radiance, it rounds out Pipe, it rounds out Mjolnir, it rounds out so many different items, just allowing these strong damage or tank items to really come into effect. Next up is Drums. I think Drums as a support item is still SSS tier. I think items like Glimmer and Force Staff are slightly overrated. However, at the end of the day, support items are very situational, where I think something like S&Y is far less situational. Things like Force Staff, Glimmer, still very situational, but the top two support items, in my opinion, across every game is going to be Drums and Solar Crest. The build-up is the best, and the general consistency due to the build-up, and also just due to the active of Drums, is the case right now. Then we have Monkey King. I think this is still a pretty bad pub hero. It just requires an incredibly high amount of skill to execute. However, I think in terms of like its potential in Dota, it's extremely high. The hero can one-shot creep waves with the shard timing with Maelstrom. It can be a good support. It completely shuts down certain mid matchups. It's very good against heroes like Bristleback, who are popular in the meta. It can rotate very, very quickly, or it can play a very AFK farm game. It's one of those heroes that can kind of do everything, and it does it pretty well right now, especially because of the shard, which applies 60% of Primal Spring to the Q, to the Boundless Strike. So, big fan of Monkey King. I would not suggest getting into this hero and expecting to win all of your games early on. To me, Monkey King is something where you put a lot of time into it, and when you've really been maxed the hero, it's going to feel like one of the better heroes in Dota. But to begin with, you're going to feed your brains out, and it's not going to feel that good. Alright, getting to the next one, unit heroes remain strong, but they're less than I thought. Lycan Alpha Wolves has proven to be very popular and pretty broken in some games, and I still would stick on that. I think Beastmaster still remains on top. I actually believe Wild Hunt Beastmaster in the pro scene is still underrated. I don't know why people are just kind of not picking it in games where it's good or looking into it. Seems like people are defaulting to the Ags, which I think is a bit of a shame. I think it's overrated, but okay. Solar Crest is still on top, already mentioned that. Tormentors and Wisdoms, I think Tormentors to me have really risen up from their beginning. I remember when they were first introduced into the game, people kind of didn't know when to take them and didn't take them frequently at all. They were very inconsistent, but now people have really started to see when to take them and are taking them earlier and earlier and earlier. I even think certain heroes are coming into the meta partially due to that. I would say the main one that comes to mind is Bristleback. Bristleback with the Goo Facet is one of the best, if not the best, probably not the best, one of the best Tormentor takers in the game behind heroes like Ursa, and I think there's like Meepo, and TA is quite good, but people are really getting on this, and it's particularly important when your team has good shards, and being a good Dota player right now is being able to look at your team comp and saying, how high of a priority is the Tormentor? How high of a priority are the shards? And I would say when you have a hero like Lich, or Phoenix, or Ricky, it's just broken to give these heroes a 20-minute shard. Their shards just break the game. right? Phoenix being Sunray during Egg, completely overpowered. Ricky reducing armor by 5 and stopping usages of Force Staffs and defensive abilities and Smokescreen is insane. I mean, Lich is the Ice Spire, which he frequently buys before the Tormentors even come up. That's how good it is. So it goes to show. And then Wisdoms, the fight for Wisdoms are never ending. If you are still playing your pubs and not getting Wisdom runes and not stealing Wisdom runes, you are missing out. It breaks the game super hard. Mainly minute 7, but even minute 14. I was playing a scrim recently. I was playing Ench. We got a minute 14 Wisdom rune. We got double minute 14s. I went from level 7.5 to level 9. All of a sudden I have max impetus, and my hero goes from kind of useless to straight up overpowered, and it really made a big difference in the game. So just keep these things in mind, mainly Wisdom runes. And then finally, the last point of the video is that roles are beginning to mesh. I've been saying for a long time that people need to be open-minded about roles in Dota. They shouldn't look at roles as the carry role has to hit the most creeps. I think Dota over time will continue to just mesh into this weird game of flexibility. As people get better and more open-minded, I really believe the roles are going to mesh. There's going to be less of a safe lane and an off lane. I think maybe mid will sort of stay the same unless there's a lot of map changes and shit like that allows like dual laning mid like in the past. But yeah, I think the roles are going to mesh. Examples of this: offlane Terrorblade. Now, to be fair, offlane Terrorblade frequently buys Pipe, but there are many offlane Terrorblades that are buying Orchid, or even just Manta Style and then the Shard, playing the scale, playing like a carry would. If you look at players like 33, bro plays like a carry on most of his heroes, right? And so much so that these unit heroes are being played as carries. Ame in the Blast Line is playing unit heroes. I think he played Beast, Lycan Beast in the safe lane. Dawnbreaker against Team Falcons is being used as a flex pick and banned out because Skeeter is playing it with Blade Mail Pipe in the safe lane when Amar wants to play a carry-esque offlaner, right? The roles are meshing. The roles are meshing. So please don't get tilted when you see a greedy hero in the offlaner or a sacrificial hero in the safe lane. It just depends on how your team comp works together. Now you might be saying, oh, but in pubs I want a very standard carry, hard support, roaming, pause 4, space creating mid. I get it, but if you want to be part of the future of Dota, thinking like this will only get you so far, and you will fall behind. Sure, easy to play, easy to understand Dota is going to make you win games, and is still powerful. I'm not saying we're like in some era where standard Dota is gone. I'm not saying that. You have to be ready for the future, and people are going to continue to invent the game, like things with like Veno Jungle and offline TV, carry Dawnbreaker, stuff like this. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.